Welcome back, guys. This week on the show, we'll take a look at the new 2DS XL. It's a new revision to the 2DS family, and it's got the new moniker. Is it any good? Let's take a look. Alright, so before we open it, a quick history lesson of the whole DS family. So initially, Nintendo back in the day came out with this, which was the Nintendo DS. It had two screens, pretty small. The bottom screen was a touch screen, and it played advanced games as well as DS games. Really fun system. I think they could have gone a lot further with this, especially using the advanced slot, but that's for another day. Then they came out with a revision where they made the form factor much smaller and the DS Lite. Not many changes other than the smaller form factor. After that, they came out with DSi. I don't have a DSi, I do have a DSi XL. This was a pretty major revision since they removed the Game Boy Advance slot, and that I assume they thought they were going to make a ton of games that use the camera, which is what the eye was for, because it supposedly has an eye on it. And that was it for that line. Then they had the huge revision with the 3DS. They took the DS games and put them in 3D. I've played way too much Pokemon on this handheld, but this was a huge revision since it had 3D anywhere you went. If you want to play a 3D game, took it out your pocket, there you go, you had a 3D game to play. After which came the abomination, which was this thing. I hated this thing because this looks like a Fisher Price toy, not electronics. This is the 2DS. It took the internals from this thing, the 3DS, and removed the 3D. Made it mono. Basically, it made it super cheap, basically for little kids. Was never a fan of the original 2DS. After which, they decided they would go back to the 3DS and up the internals a little, give it a faster clock speed and whatnot. And it came out with the new 3DS. And I don't know who names Nintendo stuff, but calling something the new 3DS is kind of confusing, because if you buy any of these things new, it's the new version of that. But new is actually in the title of this thing, so I don't know what Nintendo was thinking. Fun system. They moved a couple things around, like the stylus was always on the side, now the stylus is on bottom. But pretty much kept the exact same form factor as the original 3DS. Alright? So that's basically the history of the system. Let's look at the latest system in the 3DS family, the 2DS XL. Alright, so let's open up the box and see what you get. And nothing else in there. So you got the cable for charging, 2DS, some documentation, and AR cards. Let's put that to the side for a second. So it's actually a really big thing that this comes with a charger. For some reason, Nintendo thought when you bought your original new 3DS, it didn't come with a charger at all. I have no idea why they decided to go with that, but at least this one came with a charger. Very nice. Looks good. Feels like a 3DS. Let's take a closer look. Alright, so the first difference you notice when you just compare the new 2DS XL to the original 3DS XL, the new 3DS XL, sorry, is these cameras are not here. This is just a blank screen. They have moved those cameras for some reason to the bottom. Okay. Upon opening, you notice that the top camera has also been removed, and that's been moved to the bottom. They both have this little C-stick nub, which is fine. They also both have the stylus now on bottom, which is kind of hard to see. I'll try and get a close-up later. Also, the speakers, which have been they've been in the screen in every single version of the DS, have been moved to the bottom, which is another thing I don't understand why they did. I feel like it might get muffled or whatnot if the speakers are on bottom, but only time will tell if that's actually going to be an issue. Alright, so something I absolutely love is this little slot here, which now covers your DS games and protects them from dust, and also removing or changing your micro SD card is as simple as that. Whereas on this thing, changing the SD card is not nearly as fast. In fact, I'll show you. And this is the official way to open it. Like most stuff, you'll have to go to settings and update your system immediately. Or at least you should. Let's see, go to settings. Okay, so it looks like they just moved a bunch of stuff around in this. I think they just wanted to remove everything from the top screen that was on this thing so that they could just print out LEDs and chop them. They didn't have to worry about adding cameras or the volume switches. All that has been moved to the bottom on this. Front cameras or back cameras and front camera are all on the bottom on this screen now. It's actually quite a bit lighter. The dimensions are slightly off, so like the grip that I use when I'm playing this doesn't work on this one. But overall, I really like the color scheme. If anyone couldn't tell, I like baby blue. But the only thing I dislike is the stylus, which is this tiny little chubby thing, which is not really big enough to hold when you're playing any kind of game. Other than that, it's really good. Is it enough to upgrade from this? I don't really see it. If you don't own one of the new titles, either the new 3DS or whatever, but you want to update your 3DS or just get into it, I say this is actually a very good way to start. It doesn't have the 3D, but honestly, I never play with the 3D. If I get a new game, I turn it on for 5 minutes, turn it off, never look back. So honestly, if this had been a choice from the start, most likely I would have just went and bought this. It's $50 cheaper. Yeah, it doesn't have the 3D, but I don't use it anyway, which means longer battery life. Other than the stylus, I really don't see any downside to getting this if the 3D doesn't interest you. Color scheme, again, is great. Love the fact that it has a cover and easy access to the SD card if you need to change that. Other than that, I think it's a pretty great system. Highly recommend it if you're looking to get into the family, like I said. If you have to have the 3D function, then yeah, you're gonna end up getting a new 3DS. I don't see any reason to go with the older 3DS. Get the newer one, get the faster processor. It's all around better. The new 2DS has that faster processor that's in the new 3DS, so honestly, I think this is the best way. If you don't have one of these systems already, this is the best entry level or entry point. If you have to, again, if you have to have 3D, go to 3DS, but it's really not a big deal to me. I never use it. So, well, that's the new 2DS. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for more show. Like, comment, subscribe. Take care, everyone.